Melissa's Talk, di mana kita bakal ngobrolin hal-hal yang menyangkut dengan kewanitaan dan fashion. And because this year's International Women's Day has a topic of inspire inclusivity, we're having a talk with some very gorgeous and also influential figures in Indonesia for young women all over the country and hopefully the whole world.
Amen to that, sister.
Preach. Oh, salah tangan. Preach. Okay. I'm gonna be your host. I'm Sailor Mani, atau mungkin bisa panggilnya Gemat aja. And we have these three beautiful ladies in color. Gray is a color.
Gray is a color. I didn't get the memo.
No, gray is a color, so it's fine. She slays. Bring the boots down. Apa sih boots the house down? I don't know what those Gen Z say about things. I'm too old for that. But today we're going to have a very interesting talk about inclusivity and just, like being women in general. Mungkin bisa perkenalan diri dulu ya. Sebenarnya aku agak offended kalau misalnya ada yang nggak tahu 3 perempuan hebat ini siapa. Cuman yaudah fine. Like we'll give them like a chance to introduce themselves. Kan bisa dimulai dengan warna abu-abu.
Oke. Seperti debat ya. Hati-hati loh.
Mungkin boleh jangan disinggung ya.
Harap tenang.
Okay. Thank you, Gemat, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Cecile. I'm a mom. I'm also a brand director working for a local beauty brand in Asia base, and also a fashion enthusiast.
Oh, a fashion icon.
Wait.
Ooh, slay. Welcome, Cecile.
Thank you.
Next, please.
Hai teman-teman semua, my name is Salma. I'm a doctor. I'm also a vitiligan, jadi aku punya vitiligo di kulit aku. And I'm also a model, I write a book, terus aku punya yayasan juga namanya Mengenal Diri Indonesia.
Salam kenal. Thank you for being here, girl.
Thank you for inviting.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Melissa. And next, please. Siapa dia? Oh my god.
Ini kayak dari tadi kayak list of achievements-nya banyak. Halo teman-teman, nama saya Hana. Saya hanya seorang aktor dan campaigner kesetaraan gender itu saja.
Tidak hanya loh, Wak. Tidak hanya dong.
Belum nulis skrip, belum nulis buku,
Jangan gitu
belum
dong.
punya anak,
Nggak apa.
tapi masih bisa di sini. Thank you.
Kan belum ya, berarti siapa tahu ke depannya akan, kalau enggak juga enggak apa-apa ya.
Iya, apa-apa juga.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you for being here, you guys.
Thank you.
Jadi as you guys know, we have a conversation about inclusivity. And me, myself, I try to include a lot of people yang bentuknya seperti gue sendiri gitu. And I would love to know like how you guys do that in your own, I guess like career paths, in your scope of work gitu-gitu.
Yeah.
Mungkin bisa dimulai dari
Siapa?
Yang abu-abu.
mungkin tidak abu-abu. Mungkin boleh dari yang pink kali ya.
Oke,
Silakan Salma.
boleh. Kalau gue mungkin dari hal kecil kali ya gitu. Karena jadi gue vitiligo ini tuh baru sekitar 4 tahun yang lalu. Jadi ini bukan dari lahir. Banyak orang yang ngira dari lahir kan gitu. Dan pas gue pertama kali vitiligo, I don't feel included at all. Kayak gue ngerasa excluded banget gitu. Karena dulu mimpinya kan gue pengen jadi model, gue pengen kayak ada di layar lah gitu. Dan gak pernah ngeliat orang kayak gitu gitu. Gak pernah ngeliat orang dengan kulit ini. Jadi pas dulu 4-5 tahun yang lalu gue pertama vitiligo tuh gue langsung kayak nggak mau casting lagi, nggak show up lagi di sosial media gitu. Karena gue ngerasa kayak ya udah siapa sih yang mau nge-hire gue, kayak I'm not good enough gitu. Udah kayak ya imperfect lah gitu. Tapi ternyata justru dengan gue show up for myself dari hal-hal kecil, dari mulai gue nggak terus-terusan harus nutupin vitiligo gue, even keluar rumah gitu, terus gue show up di sosial media. Ternyata banyak banget orang yang punya kondisi yang sama atau bahkan mungkin kondisi kulit lain tapi ngerasa insecure juga gitu. Dan dari situ gue sadar kayak representation tuh matter banget ternyata gitu. Dengan gue just small stuff, gue kayak show up di Instastory gitu tanpa filter, tanpa make up, itu aja ternyata banyak yang terasa berdampak, padahal buat gue itu sudah hal biasa gitu. Terus mungkin ya semakin lama karena ngelihat dampaknya ada, so I started to create a community. Makanya sekarang jadi ada yayasan mengenal diri di mana gue benar-benar kayak letting everyone, siapapun dengan bentuk tubuh kayak gimana, apapun insecurity lo, kayak come together di sini kita make an impact together tanpa ngelihat bentuk tubuh lo atau standar kecantikan whatever itu nggak penting lah gitu. Yang penting adalah how you can contribute to the community gitu.
That's true. Wow.
Banget. Thank you.
Yes,
Nyambung ke
boleh.
what you said about representation ya, karena kalau di industri perfilman kan mau di Indonesia atau di Hollywood, representation menjadi keyword banget nih beberapa tahun terakhir ini gitu. Cuman yang kita harus sadari adalah what kind of representation dan apakah itu authentic atau tidak. Karena yang kita perlu yakini adalah looking a particular way is fine. We have inclusivity for different ways in which people look. But how much is that look also represented with who you are as a culture atau authentically lo dari mana gitu. Kalau misalnya kita lihat di industri perfilman Indonesia misalnya stereotype terhadap orang Indonesia Timur, and asal lo keriting dikit dan punya kulit yang lebih gelap dikit, it's enough gitu. Padahal are we authentically mengangkat orang dari daerah-daerah tertentu dengan sejarah tertentu, dengan konteks tertentu. Nah, authenticity itu sih menurut gue yang sangat penting dan itu sesuatu yang I guess through film people are trying to do more of gitu. Dan kalau kita mau ngomongin inclusivity atau representation menurut gue automatically kita harus sadar sama privilege kita sendiri. Acknowledging your own privilege sebagai anak Indo ya, as a mixed race, maksudnya gue sangat tahu diri, insya Allah. Dan maksudnya kayak acknowledging the privilege that I have with my mixed race background, itu sesuatu yang menurut gue sangat penting untuk kita sadar gitu. Karena nggak mungkin kita bisa perjuangkan inclusivity, representation yang accurate kalau kita nggak lepas dari the privileges that we have. Dan itu sesuatu yang in terms of advocacy misalnya untuk kesetaraan gender atau apapun itu, gue termasuk co-creator campaign Kawan Puan. Itu adalah movement and campaign untuk bantu korban kekerasan. And one of the things that we really strive to do is decentralize the help that we give gitu. Jadi nggak hanya dipusatkan di Jakarta atau di Jawa, tapi memang kita sengaja ingin bekerjasama dengan LSM di seluruh Indonesia, di mana konteks korban kekerasan di Sulawesi, di NTT, di Sumatera, semuanya beda-beda. It's all intersectional the way in which you can be a korban kekerasan, but where you're from, your economic status, your gender, your religion, all of these, your educational background, all of these things intersect to make very help yang dibutuhkan menjadi sangat spesifik. Dan kita hanya bisa melakukan itu jika kita acknowledge our own privilege dan juga sadar bahwa authenticity matters. You cannot just put a cookie cutter one size fits all untuk semua orang untuk ini sih. Jadi maybe that's my take on inclusivity and representation like what you said.
And I totally agree with you. When it comes to inclusivity, the way we achieve inclusivity and diversity in any industries, could be film, fashion, beauty, and whatsoever. It cannot be from like individual contributor, right? Everyone has to work together as an ally, right? The media, the people behind the business, right? The business, whatever, like the business itself, the media, a community, organization, things like that. Buat gue, kontribusi gue, kebetulan gue kerja di beauty industry, and obviously standard beauty and beauty industry brand, it's really like, it's like going hand in hand, right? Actually, the one who created standard of beauty could be the beauty industry itself, right? Jadi in the past 4 years, basically we run this business, right? It's more than just selling beauty products. We actually have a bigger purpose, which is to break the homogeneous ideal of beauty. And honestly, kayak it's a tough thing to do, to go kayak lawan arus kan gitu. Karena semua beauty industry di Indonesia, dan kita nggak bisa bohong juga kayak Indonesia itu masih kayak standarnya satu. Kayak mungkin di Jakarta udah banyak yang lebih melek, tapi if you go kayak second tier, third tier city, mereka tuh aspirasinya masih ya beauty standard, mau putih segala macam. So you can see kayak di marketplace segala macam tuh yang jualan krim pemutih tuh masih banyak banget gitu. And we're doing the opposite, and it's not easy kan. Kayak in the past 4 years, kayak I develop a campaign and communicating and working with a lot of different people. We work with Gemat before as well, right? To communicate that hey, standard of beauty
Yeah.
needs to be broken down gitu. Harusnya nggak ada lagi gitu. And we showcase through different campaigns, different representation, and that's something that we consistently doing. And I think kayak itu jadi punya gue jadi punya peranan untuk menginfluence juga, influencing my leaders, which luckily they're very supportive, influencing investor, convincing them that hey, this is I know this is different. Semua orang melakukan hal yang A, we're going the opposite, but this is the right thing to do gitu. If we wanna have a brighter future for our younger generation, this is the right thing to do. It might be difficult now, tapi if we do it consistently, we're communicating the value, and we believe in this cause, kayak we can change the world.
Amen.
That's so great. Gue tuh selalu kepikiran, misalnya ya, in order to influence people, you have to have like a certain type of power kan.
Yeah.
Gue terbuka banget sih, jadinya Mate tadi lo bilang kayak it's a group effort, it's a communal effort. The influence would work well dengan sesuatu yang sangat Indonesia, yaitu gotong royong gitu.
Yeah.
Kalau misalnya nggak bareng-bareng, you won't
mungkin.
see any change, right?
Dan
Iya,
kata
sama
konsistensi itu loh.
Itu
Yeah, you have
kadang-kadang
consistency
emang
penting.
kayak adalah di masa-masa kayak capek pasti kan kayak the way you communicate, you also as an activist sometimes kayak ada masa-masanya pasti kayak
Ya, is it
this
working?
gonna
Nyampe
work?
ke sana ya.
Tapi gue inget banget sih kayak 10 tahun yang lalu deh, kalau misalnya ngomongin isu kekerasan atau isu ini, wah nggak ada brand yang mau ini, it's too political ini. Lihat sekarang, it's a sexy issue. It's very interesting. Tapi ya itu, consistency matters menurut gue. Kalau kita ngomongin soal influence ya, maksudnya kita kalau misalnya melihat orang yang consistently talking about a particular topic gitu, you build a trust that these people are genuinely and authentically caring about said issue. Therefore, you want to trust what they say and you want to be involved with that community and that movement gitu. Consistency penting sih.
Yeah, that's true. Karena kalau misalnya tiba-tiba lo stop like in the middle of the fight, kind of like kok hilang, jadi orang jadi nggak sadar, and then ya nggak maju-maju.
You're just riding on the trends.
Yeah,
that's
just
it.
riding on the trends and it comes and goes. Hey, that was a very serious question. I feel like we should probably like chill out. Tadi mulai dengan I'm like, wait, did I just like make a wrong move? Tapi it's great karena kayak seenggaknya jadi kita tahu again like values kita tuh ada di mana masing-masing, like pergerakan kita and our efforts in making the right change to make everyone feel included and fighting for what's beneficial for everyone, itu di semua industri ada, di semua area ada gitu, and it needs like communal work. One thing that really got me into not influencing but like expressing myself and trying to represent the people that look like me, and I'm trying also like being like maybe a lot of content creators trying to be consistent with what they say, their messages. Since we're women and we love art and we love beauty, of course one of them is fashion, right? Of course, like Kahana, like we see your OOTD girl, like kebaya day 1, kebaya day 2, girl, yay, gitu kan. So juga kayak brand this, brand that, yes, this
And this is my boots.
And these are my boots, ya kan, this is my platforms, girl, hey, gitu. And kayaknya fashion tuh nggak bisa lepas gitu dari kayak how do we also like make a statement and also like trying to get our message out there. So ini pertanyaan kipas-kipas ya. So how do you value yourself being expressed in your fashion? What do you value most about like your appearance atau kayak how you represent yourself out in the world? Kayak misalnya
Siapa duluan?
Silakan siapa duluan, fashion icon boleh.
Gantian.
Ya, I think kayak menurut gue kayak fashion itu bukan cuma sekedar mix and match baju ya. Kayak fashion for me is like a medium to express myself, my true self ya. Express and communicate my personality and how I want to be perceived by the outside world gitu. Dan menurut gue, if we want to be true to ourselves, your value and the way you express yourself through fashion has to go hand in hand, right? And that's what makes you authentic, right? For instance, I give you an example. For instance, like if your faith holds significance in your life, you might dress up in accordance to your religious guidelines. Or for me, gue punya prinsip atau punya value di mana umur itu dan status apalagi sebagai ibu ya, itu harusnya tidak menjadi batasan untuk gue bisa mengekspresikan diri gue dengan bebas lewat fashion gitu. Because I value my creativity, I value my self-worth, I value my self-expression, and that's how I portray through fashion gitu. Makanya kalau bisa dilihat kayak mungkin dandanan gue gitu ya, kadang-kadang suka bilang kayak doesn't look like a mom, doesn't look like a wife gitu. Kayak kan ada stigma-stigma ya kayak kalau udah jadi ibu gak usah dandannya kayak pakai bajunya kayak is either kayak gak usah dandan, gak usah cantik because your mom, lu udah menikah kan, kayak you already have husband, kayak
gitu ya?
ada kayak you gak usah lah, ngapain cantik-cantik gitu. Or misalnya kayak we have to dress a certain way as a mom, whatever. For me kayak again age and status, because I value my creativity, kayak I just go and you will always see me with my eclectic style, experimental style.
Menurut gue paling eclectic adalah boot silver lo.
Tetap ya, that's the highlight of the topic ya.
Yeah, the highlight of the topic is your silver boots.
Kalau buat gue mungkin itu ya, gue anak mixed race yang lahir besar di luar Indonesia. Jadi identity menjadi sesuatu yang sangat penting buat gue. Cara gue bisa connect kepada roots gue yang Bugis atau Sulawesi atau Indonesia itu ternyata lewat kain. Ternyata lewat, walaupun nggak kebaya, kebaya is I guess national, mungkin mau Jawa ya, tapi buat gue itu kebaya menjadi sesuatu yang somehow bisa link me to my culture. Sarung is something yang bisa link me to my culture gitu. Jadi sebagai anak mixed race diaspora itu menjadi sangat penting untuk membentuk my fashion identity, terutama kalau gue lagi di London, tempat kelahiran gue gitu. But on the flip side, I value myself in fashion through being comfortable. Buat gue tuh kayak kenyamanan dalam berbusana itu sangat amat penting gitu. And this is why I love Melissa as a brand, because I feel like they have a way of providing a footwear that is eclectic, statement, tapi nyaman
banget sih.
Dan kalau kita mikirin ini deh, so I was reading this book called Beauty Sickness, and it talks about how much like beauty or fashion industries cause beauty sickness in the way that it robs us women of our time and productivity and our money as well gitu. Cuma kayak kalau misalnya, lo kalau kantor misalnya, it's expected for a woman to dress a certain way. Restricting ini segala macam. Lo kalau misalnya lo pakai rok pendek, lo harus mikir, is anyone looking apa ini atau gimana? High heels, gimana sakit, tapi you have to, you're like, there are these social constructs for you to present yourself a certain way, which men don't have that burden placed on them gitu. And this whole idea of being uncomfortable, where your mind is thinking about how uncomfortable you are daripada putting that energy and effort into actually being productive tuh gue sangat anti. Jadi waktu itu gue pengen nyaman. So diaspora kain dan nyaman. And kain nyaman banget sih dipakainya sebenarnya gitu.
Kayak semriwing.
Yo, lagi di sini kan gitu, panas banget. But I think when you're comfortable, you exude confidence.
Oh, very much so.
So, like, I'm not here trying to look like I'm about to die for fashion. No, it's not me.
Totally.
Gitu sih.
Beauty is pain, tapi nggak gitu ya, Wak.
Gitu. Kalau gue kayak juga lumayan love-hate relationship sebenarnya sama fashion dari dulu sampai sekarang mungkin udah berubah perspektifnya. Cuman karena mungkin dulu gue inget pertama-tama ngerasa insecure kayak body conscious tuh karena zaman dulu ngeliatin fashion magazine gitu. And I feel like I don't fit in a certain way sama apa yang ada di magazines gitu kan. Pas SMP gue tuh dibully bukan karena vitiligo, karena kulit gue dulu masih baik-baik aja kan. Jadi gue dibully karena tepos. Jadi dulu cewek cowok tuh kayak ih dada lo rata, kayak dada rata kayak gitu. Itu SMP loh, gitu kan. Dan jadinya dulu tuh gue justru restrict myself, gue cuma mau pakai baju yang nggak exposing my body shape gitu. Bahkan kayak pakai bantalan, pakai push up bra gitu yang itu nggak nyaman. Itu restricting banget gitu kan. Itu nggak nyaman sampai kayak berbekas segala macam gitu. Terus mungkin 5 tahun yang lalu sejak gue vitiligo itu tuh kayak ya udah Tuhan tuh memberikan kayak tamparan gitu kayak okay, you know what, you are so much more than your looks. Kayak coba lu gali lu tuh siapa gitu, dan itu bener-bener lumayan turning point sampai akhirnya sekarang gue udah justru nggak lagi menggunakan fashion as a way to hide certain parts of myself.
Yes, we love that.
Ya, tapi justru lebih untuk exposing ya udah biasa aja sih sebenarnya. Maksudnya gue exposing my skin sekarang itu juga sesuatu yang mungkin dulu nggak mudah gitu ya. Cuman I feel like now fashion becomes a medium for freedom gitu. Jadi kayak I feel free in my own body and showcasing my body, dan itu juga mungkin bisa menginspirasi orang-orang yang saat ini masih insecure dan nutupin kulitnya, nutupin vitiligonya, ngelihat gue kayak gue biasa aja coy, gue vitiligo dan gue mau pakai sports bra kayak apa kayak biasa aja gitu. So that's freedom for me.
I like that freedom. Kalau gue tuh ngerasa kayak aksesoris itu akan selalu menjadi fashion item yang sangat gue value as a big girl. Karena when everything doesn't fit, yang bisa gue andalkan adalah accessories. Dulu zaman SMA gue kayak Taylor Swift pakai kayak gelang sampai kayak sikut gitu loh, and kayak genjreng-genjreng gitar gitu kan. So I really value like accessories, and like one of them are shoes. I bought 3 shoes last year. Guilty as charged. But like again kayak it's such a cute way. Apalagi kalau misalnya kayak baju lo monoton, and then like your shoes just like make a statement. Like hey green, hey glitter, hey pink, and silver of
And the
course.
boots, back to the boots.
Back to the boots again. But yeah, it's how you express yourself, and it's how you feel again, like comfortable, and then you gain that confidence from being comfortable and very authentic, being authentic for yourself. Okay, well that kind of got a little bit deep as well ya. Maksudnya kayak, of course nggak ada pertanyaan yang cuma kayak, Ari udah makan belum sayang?
Kamu lagi apa?
Kamu lagi apa? Gi apa pap dong? Gitu nggak ya? Nggak gitu ya kita conversation ya. Kalau gitu the next one would be, oh ya boleh minum dulu. I love that we all have one thing in common. That is not only that we're all wearing Melissa shoes, but we're all women.
And fabulous.
And fabulous, right? One thing yang gue selalu pikirkan sebagai perempuan adalah gimana ya caranya gue nggak again imposter syndrome. Because I feel like women nowadays kita bisa achieve a lot of things, right? And then we can also like make a lot of things. Tapi terkadang of all like these achievements ada aja kayak micro like imposter syndrome yang ngerasa kayak
Macro juga kok.
macro juga ya kayak I do not deserve this gitu. Nah, how do you overcome that in your own scope of work misalnya? Kayak maybe like when you get a role, or like maybe like when you're being asked to like speak about something, or like when you're supposed to like talk to your like shareholders or stuff like that. Mungkin bisa ke Hana.
Imposter syndrome itu real banget sih.
Right? It's crazy.
Dan I think there's so much pressure being a woman. Maksudnya kayak lo kayak dipaksa harus menjadi multifaceted, apalagi sebagai modern woman. Karena lo harus bisa mencapai semua gitu. Sedangkan kalau kita ngomongin work-life balance ini segala macam, lagi-lagi sesuatu yang nggak pernah dituntut kepada lelaki gitu. Jadi selalu menarik untuk ini sih. Walau gue banyak temen cowok yang imposter syndrome juga sih, karena I think gimana ya, buat gue tuh setiap project kayak gitu, cara gue cuman kayak harus kayak myself in the mirror dan kayak lu tuh dipilih for a reason. Percaya kan sama itu. Udah. Lu ada di sini for a reason gitu, dengan segala kesempatan yang ada, dengan segala imposter syndrome, keraguan terhadap kemampuan untuk berperan ini. Toh at the end of the day kalau casting director dan produksi ini memilih gue, ada alasannya. Jadi kadang it takes other people believing in us and us opening our eyes to that for us to then like, oh iya deh, aku bisa. Which is very frustrating karena seharusnya kita bisa percaya in ourselves anyway. But at the same time, as women, we are also taught from a very young age to be small. Because if you believe in yourself, it means you're arrogant or cocky or apapun itu. Which lagi-lagi lelaki itu percaya in themselves. Well, they're assertive, they're leaders. Jadi kayak it's very confusing to be a woman and to have to navigate this very thin, tight rope of like, which direction do I go in? Do I be confident at the risk of being called cocky, or do I completely go in on myself and be crippled by anxiety and like hesitation that makes me unable to move forward? Tapi ya itu, gue selalu berusaha untuk mengingatkan diri sendiri bahwa ada alasan kenapa gue dipilih dibandingkan semua orang lain. Berarti ada sesuatu yang mereka lihat pada dalam diri gue, biarpun mungkin gue tidak melihat itu pada diri sendiri. Ya udah deh, percaya pada other people's opinions first. And I think also like with support systems as women, we're always so uplifting of each other, and we're so hard on ourselves. So when we're hard on ourselves, minimal kita punya girlies yang bisa kayak, no, you got this, you got this. I think we really do all come as a village make sure that one of us rises and we do it for each other gitu. Kalau gue sih gitu.
And I totally on your last statement ya that you need a support system. Karena gue tuh nggak kerja kantoran kan. In the past in my whole life after uni tuh nggak pernah kerja kantoran. And gue tuh ngerasa banget loh bedanya punya leader cewek versus cowok. Completely different.
Bener-bener.
Really?
Completely different. Especially now kayak for me having two female leaders gitu ya in the management level semuanya cewek gitu. It's just really helpful to really gain my confidence and really understanding my position, especially balik lagi I'm a mom. A lot of different things I have to juggle different things. Obviously caregiver for a son. Obviously my husband is really involved. Tapi the main caregiver is pasti ujung-ujungnya ibu kan gitu. Jadi managing kayak time and my role at home and also at work is really makes me sometimes like, oh, am I doing best for both gitu? Sometimes I feel that I'm
Yes,
lacking.
you are.
Yes, you are. My girl. But sometimes I'm lacking like, oh, I feel that I'm not a good mom because I spend too much time at work. But also sometimes when I have to deal with my sons, like, oh, I'm not being a good leader. I'm not being a good team player because I'm not, present at office misalnya gitu ya, things like that. Jadi things like that will always happen and support system, my leader having someone who in the same position as you, cewek perempuan gitu ya, it's really helpful honestly gitu. Dan tadi juga ya kayak just assertive aja kayak look at me gitu kayak kadang-kadang tuh yang gue butuhin cuman kayak look in the past. Oh, this is what I've done. This is what I did and I made it. Gitu.
Dan gampang banget lupa kan.
Yeah, bring this brands like this far and look at my son. He's healthy, he's smart gitu kayak actually I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yes, you are.
Memotivasi diri sendiri.
Kita sering lupa nggak sih sama achievement kita gitu. Jadi kalau gue juga emang I practice a lot of kayak ngobrol sama diri sendiri sih gitu. Jadi kayak kalau gue mungkin orang suka anggapnya agak aneh, cuma gue suka ngobrol sama diri sendiri kalau lagi nyetir. Jadi kayak bener-bener kayak ngobrol aja, thinking out loud aja gitu kayak gimana Mak? How's your day? Kayak how are you? Kayak kayak aneh banget, freak banget, tapi it really helps.
Gue yang di ojek next to your window like
ada yang ngejudge ya.
oh lagi bluetooth kali
lagi telepon. Tapi kayak it really helps karena dulu bahkan I don't even recognize my own talking voice. Kayak gue kalau ngomong sama orang tuh suka beda-beda suaranya.
Oh really?
Iya, kayak karena I really didn't know myself aja gitu.
Right.
Terus sejak kayak ya dulu mungkin ke psikolog. Ini juga tools yang gue belajar dari going to a professional, baca banyak buku, dengerin podcast segala macam. Dan ternyata emang ngobrol sama diri sendiri tuh penting banget. Jadi ada orang yang sukanya lewat journaling, ada yang sukanya mungkin even prayers. Itu kan juga cara kita ngobrol sama diri sendiri. Kalau gue emang sukanya ngobrol di mobil gitu. Dan dari situ gue jadi kayak, oh ternyata suara gue kayak gini. And then I can kayak apa ya, ngasih kata-kata baik yang emang gue butuhkan gitu. Jadi giving myself that support that I need, yang mungkin kalau gue nggak consciously make time for that, itu nggak akan keluar gitu loh. Jadi kayak I make time for that. Terus tadi remembering my achievements, I have it actually di notes handphone. Gue nge-list, jadi I saw that kayak itu ternyata berguna banget. Jadi list sebanyak-banyaknya, kayak itu quantity matters sih. Jadi kayak lu tulis aja kayak 30, 50 bahkan your past achievements. Jadi once you feel that imposter syndrome kicks in, tinggal buka kayak
That's a practical
tips and tricks sangat berguna sih.
menarik banget.
Moving on to the next question, I want to know, since we all have like really different styles, obviously, how did you discover your signature style and then gain confidence in it? Mungkin tadi udah disinggung juga ya sedikit-sedikit ya sampai kita, but like, how did you discover it, girl? Like, it took a long time for me. Like, I had to like wear kayak hand-me-down clothes from my dad.
I still do that.
Jadi ya kan, maksudnya kayak jadinya jarang. And then like kalau ke sekolah tuh ada kayak hari yang free nggak usah pakai seragam, pakai daster. And then dikasih belt, jadinya baby doll.
Gue pernah ke premier kayak gitu,
Girl.
pakai daster, belt, leather jacket, udah.
Duster core make it come back, right?
Style icon.
Ya, style icon. Ya, jadi bagaimana Silahkan sama.
Gue masih suka minjem baju sih. I love experimenting. Jadi gue juga masih, I cannot kayak masih belum bisa kayak okay this is my style. Gue masih suka eksperimen. Gue suka minjem baju. Sekarang kan banyak yang nyewa kayak suka baju. Kayak I love it karena gak tertekan gitu loh. Kayak ini harus jadi punya gue dan identitas gue gitu. Jadi kayak gue suka nyewa. Minjem punya temen bahkan gitu, minjem punya mama, just trying it out. Terus gue juga suka banget sama kain, suka batik gitu karena batik tuh ternyata setiap motif ada artinya dan itu kayak when we know the meaning jadi kayak empowering juga kalau dipakai.
Oh, that's great.
Ya, terus how to feel confident in it kayaknya gue akhir-akhir ini suka kayak romanticize my life aja gitu. Jadi kayak take a picture gitu. Terus kayak post it if I want to gitu tanpa peduli kayak orang like atau enggak. Saya just kayak I don't know, live my life aja gitu.
Main character energy gitu ya.
Exactly.
I love that. Sama sih, gue juga suka eksperimen. Obviously my style evolving kayak as I get older and through different stages of life gitu ya. I experiment a lot with my style dari gue waktu baru masuk jadi first jobber sampai sekarang gitu ya, itu berubah banyak and I experiment a lot and different style. Tapi sekarang buat gue keywordsnya lebih ke authenticity sama comfortable sih, sama how to be just like comfortable and being productive karena kan I do a lot of different things ya in a day gitu ya, banyak banget kerjaannya. Jadi gue juga kayak selain being stylish, kayak gue juga harus being comfortable juga nih gitu. Dan style tadi gue nggak ngedefine satu style yang kayak Sisil stylenya kayak gini, makanya I always like to kalau orang nanya kayak style lu apa sih? It's eclectic gitu. It's eclectic gitu because literally the definition of eclectic style is like no rules in style gitu. Is combining different mix and matching kayak different patterns and colors and elements gitu and experimenting with your style gitu. Jadi gue juga kalau ditanya style lo apa ya, I don't have one single word to describe my style and that's what I'm comfortable with right now.
Jadi kayak lo sebenarnya stylenya suka-suka gue.
Suka-suka gue pakai bel gitu kan. Tidak ada gitu.
Agak restricting gitu ya.
Gemes. Apa ya, gue nggak merasa pinter banget ya in terms of fashion dan ini. Entusias ya, tapi balik lagi karena konteks mixed upbringing gue itu kain Indonesia dan anything yang link to Indonesian culture gue suka banget gitu. Cuman gue juga sadar bahwa kayaknya sempat ada zamannya kain tenun atau batik atau kebaya pun semuanya cukup sakral dan restrictive. Sedangkan gue suka banget kayak spin it on its head. I'm a real big fan of jeans and kebaya.
Oh, like right now?
And I'm like, rap the boogies. Kain gitu. Tapi ya itu kayak deconstructing that kind of seriousness and sacralness of kain Indonesia menurut gue tuh cukup fun ternyata untuk dimainkan gitu. Kebaya sama celana tuh favorit dan instead of I really love I guess my style would be very casual actually gitu. Tapi if there's a pop of color or pop of statement mau itu dari sepatunya atau dari kebayanya tuh menurut gue funnya di situ. Dan kayak if I'm going out with like jeans and a tank top, karena naik ojek ya, jadi kayak outer kan. Tapi ternyata an open kebaya as an outer juga gemes nih gitu. Jadi I think just trying to deconstruct stuff while still keeping it cash and comfortable sih.
Gue inget banget dulu waktu gue awal masuk kerja because I just wanna be like, I just wanna be seen. Fresh graduate kan, I just wanna be seen gitu kayak.
Let's go.
I wanna stand out. Gue inget banget setiap ke kantor tuh kayak pakai 3-4 layer just like just to be like gue mau orang lihat tuh gue stylish gitu and it's so uncomfortable sampai anak-anak kantor gue, fun fact, they call me kayak cosplay. Jadi kayak Sisil ini cosplay apa gitu. Setiap hari cosplay apa.
Oh my god.
Tapi kayak I'm not that person anymore. I think kayak because I already know myself gitu, what I like, what I'm comfortable. Jadi ya nggak kayak gitu lagi. Fun fact.
Tapi lucu banget sih. Gue suka sih konsep cosplay karena kayak again, I feel like I relate to like the eclectic style. Kayak gue bisa kayak gini, bisa besok kayak emo.
Iya kan?
Itu juga bisa.
Based on mood aja.
Iya, based on the mood. Jadi kayak cosplay is the right word. What's your style? Cosplay. Do you want to see my collection of wigs and swords? It's fun. Okay. Last question yang I would love for you guys to what's the word, to kind of like talk to the young Indonesian girls back home. Home. Not back. So the last question is, so for young Indonesian girls out there, what do you think could help them feel like they belong or relevant or empowered in your own world? How do you
Hannah, you wanna start?
make them feel?
Kok gue mulu nih?
Mulai
Tadi kan
jadi
udah
Hannah
ada
dulu.
Iya.
Beneran deh, yang membantu gue itu adalah saat gue udah tidak peduli opini orang lain. Jalanin aja girls, beneran deh, kayak there's so much, we think so much about what other people think of us,
Iya, bener.
sehingga kita lupa what we feel for ourselves gitu. And when, am I allowed to swear? No.
Nanti di-bleep gitu.
Okay. No, tapi kayak there's a whole like no fucks given attitude.
Iya,
Bener-bener
iya,
kayak
bener-bener.
don't care what people think about you. And I think when you have that kind of mentality, it gives you the confidence to just be who you are.
True.
Tapi on the flip side, representation lagi-lagi sangat penting. Kalau misalnya anak perempuan Indonesia ingin menjadi relevan dan merasa empowered, mau nggak mau mereka harus bisa melihat diri mereka in people that they see in media, in people that they see on their timeline gitu. Jadi representation sangat penting. But again, it's kind of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg kind of situation kan gitu. Is it us that start on that ground level where we have people like all of you who are doing your own thing in your own way with your own standard gitu, sehingga orang-orang lain lihat dan kayak gue tuh kayak gemet stylenya, atau gue kayak Cecile, gue kayak Salma gitu, atau gue goblok glam kayak Hannah gitu, maksudnya kayak tapi maksudnya kayak ada orang yang mungkin relate kepada orang tertentu. So does it start from you guys and then it becomes a movement as influences, or is it just us kayak ngerebut kembali our own confidence and don't care attitude untuk ya udah ini gue, lo mau terima atau enggak serah, yang penting gue jalanin hidup gue and I'm happy gitu. Gitu sih.
And adding to that, especially in like digital and social media era, okay, choose what you want to see, filter that,
Itu dah.
filter the
Yeah,
content
what do
that
you
you
wanna
want to
see?
see, gitu kayak. If you bump into a content that makes you insecure, block right away gitu kayak.
Not interested.
Yeah, find
bener
a
deh.
content or people that inspires you. I think
Yeah.
that's the easiest step to do ya. The
Yeah.
first thing that you have to do
Yes.
gitu. After that kayak okay, then you get inspired kayak menurut gue penting banget sih. Your surrounding, your friends, kayak who you talk to, who you inspire to, that's really influence you, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to obviously your circle,
Yeah.
right? Filter your circle, filter the content that you see or you watch.
You can
people
still
that you
follow but mute them.
Mute,
Ya
yes.
kan gitu. Kalau misalnya
God knows how many accounts I mute.
gitu kayak.
The tea spills.
Jadi menurut gue itu sih, kayak
Yeah.
that's the easiest thing to do kayak.
Iya sih.
Karena semakin lo consume those kind of negativity ya, lo
Oh,
bakal kayak
benar.
gitu.
Lo bakal terpengaruh banget. I think waktu itu sama gue pernah ngobrolin tentang ini kan, kayak how do we always kind of like try to bukannya tapi kayak lebih ke try to represent ourselves authentically dan merasa kayak even kita tuh masih bisa loh diterima gitu. And it's about again like authentic representation.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's always gonna be like that in the digital world. It's like that.
Iya. Gue pernah dengar kayak Marie Kondo your social media gitu.
Love that.
Oh, menarik.
Ya, jadi kayak udah kayak be ruthless gitu.
Bersih-bersih fit ya.
Kayak does
Yes.
this account sparks joy?
Iya.
Ya.
Block gitu, unfollow gitu ya.
Ya. Ya, and like at the end of the day, gue setuju kayak get to know yourself gitu. Pada akhirnya gue yakin every single one of us punya insecurities masing-masing gitu, punya struggle-nya masing-masing. Everyone is struggling. Kayak mungkin kita ngerasa kayak gila cuma gue nih yang insecure gitu di dunia ini, cuman gue yang nggak belong. Karena everyone is like we are all kayak sebenarnya juga berusaha, kayak we're all trying gitu. Jadi you're not alone in that. Terus ya kenalin diri lo sendiri. Kalau gue kayak mungkin dari pengalaman vitiligo ini dan lain-lain, gue ngerasa juga kayak my looks, my skin is like the least interesting part about me. Gitu.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, your
Kayak
worth is not pegged to how you look.
Yes,
Your worth is so
exactly.
much more than that.
Benar-benar.
Yeah.
Ya jadi talk to yourself a lot, get to know yourself, what you're good at, gali potensi lo gitu. Jangan cuman kayak set your standar tuh ya harus sesuai dengan standar kecantikan orang. Kayak you can embrace your own imperfection dalam tanda kutip gitu ya, and yeah, just make it perfect in kayak your own way aja gitu.
I love that.
Jadi bisa kita blok siapa?
Aduh, super
Langsung
insightful.
Ding 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 ding.
Super duper insightful answers. Thank you so much, guys, for talking.
Thank you for having
with
us.
At Melissa's Talk today. Baik banget insight on how to inspire inclusivity in our own circle of friends, in our communities, and also like to be authentic in ourselves so we can represent ourselves better. I feel like one takeaway that I would love to garis bawahi, underline. My bahasa and my English don't come together nicely lah, so very confusing lah. But one thing for sure, menurut gue kalau misalnya kita nggak confident in ourselves, then how can we inspire others to be comfortable and confident in their skin? So embrace the cringe, and try to be cringe in your own way, and then you'll find your own community and like-minded people, and that would inspire you a lot more to be the better version of yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in to Melissa Talk. The Melissa Squad here has been very inspiring for sure, and we hope that International Women's Day would make your life a lot better and get those like important questions and conversations going with your close ones, with your loved ones, and make the world a better place one conversation at a time.
Yes.
I'm Sailor Money, and we're all signing out. Bye, guys.
Bye.